Hello dear students of class 7 and welcome to another online class of general knowledge. Dear children, today we'll be starting the 6th lesson from your general knowledge book, Indian currency. Children, by currency we mean in simple terms money. Children, when the human civilization dawned, people needed a mean and method to exchange goods among themselves, right? To have the goods which they could not produce by themselves. So first came the system of barter. Barter was the system where goods were exchanged for goods itself. Like people used to bring cloth and they used to take away wheat, that kind of thing. But barter had its own problems. Okay, then so the people went on to the next mode of trade, that is introduction of currency. Now currency, especially Indian currency, has a very rich and varied history. It is because our India has not been ruled by one king only. Many kings, emperors, dynasties, even British ruled our country, and hence time to time changes were made in the currency system of our country. The latest in the line of changes being the demonetization introduced by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, wherein notes of 500 and 1000 rupees denomination were taken out of circulation. Dear children, in this chapter today, we are going to learn in particular about the various changes and the various features of the currency in particular. It's in the exercise form of what you call fill in the blanks. We'll be going through it accordingly. So let's start. So let's start with number 1. This king's rupiah became the forerunner of modern rupee. Forerunner meaning predecessor. Means from here the modern rupee system started. This particular king, he was the first to introduce the currency which he called rupiah. And your answer is Sher Shah Suri. Sher Shah Suri was an instrumental king in the Mughal history because he was the one who defeated Humayun and drove him out and briefly ruled the country as its emperor. And during his reign only, he introduced the currency system which he called rupiah. And that rupiah became the forerunner or predecessor, or you can say the foundation stone of the modern rupees. Now let's look at the second one. This king portrait meaning single painting of the face. This king's portrait was in India's paper currency in 1923. Now the clue to the answer here is the date. During 1923, India was under British rule. So we can assume that it must contain the portrait of a British king. Having said that, your answer is King George the 5th. Your answer is King George the 5th. Number 3. Denominations. Denominations means numerical value. Denomination means numerical value. Or having said that, the number which is written on the currency which marks its value, like 1 rupees, 2 rupees, 3 rupees, like that. Sorry, not 3 rupees, 1 rupees, 2 rupees, 5 rupees, 10 rupees. So denominations of 1 paisa. Now you most of you must know that these kind of currencies like 1 paisa, 2 paisa, 3 paisa are now out of circulation. So circulation means they are not used anymore. Out of circulation means they are not used anymore. So denominations of 1 paisa, 2 paisa, 3 paisa, 5 paisa, 10 paisa, 20 paisa and 25 paisa were in circulation till this date. Means till a particular date, these currency these currencies, 1 paisa, 2 paisa, 3 paisa, 5 paisa, 10 paisa, 20 paisa, 25 paisa, all these coins were actually in use up to a particular date, and after that they were, what do you call, moved out of circulation. So that particular date was 30 June 2011. Your answers: 30 June 2011. Up to this particular date, the paisa coins were in circulation, and after that they were moved out of use and they are not in use anymore. So now comes number 4. It was the highest denomination currency note printed by Reserve Bank of India in its history. You see, dear children, today the highest denomination value note that our government, or you can say Reserve Bank of India, prints is 2000 rupees, right? But there was a time when the RBI printed a note of much higher value, and that was the highest in the history of India. It was in circulation between 1938 and 1946 during British rule, later discontinued, it was stopped. It was again reintroduced in 1954 and discontinued in 1978, and that was 10,000 rupees. Imagine a single note with a denomination value of 10,000 rupees. This was the highest denomination value note ever printed by Reserve Bank of India. Now moving on to number 5. All notes except this note are printed by RBI. This note was issued by Ministry of Finance, Government of India. Now in our country, the printing of notes, big notes, totally rests with RBI, Reserve Bank of India. It is also called the apex banking institution of the country. But there is one particular denomination note which can be printed by Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Finance of Government of India, and that particular denomination note is 1 rupee note. 1 rupee note. Only this particular denomination, 1 rupee note, can be printed by Ministry of Finance, Government of India. Rest all the notes and coins in circulation are printed and minted by Reserve Bank of India. Moving to number 6. Front side of currency notes, rupees 500 and rupees 2000, have different shapes with the denomination in raised print. Here is your clue: raised print, that helps visually impaired blind persons to identify the denomination value on this note. See, in order to ensure that even blind people can know what kind of note they are carrying, the denomination value in a particular corner, it is printed in raised letters, the raised letter, and that particular raised letter is called Braille sign. Braille sign. So only the denomination value on a particular side is printed in Braille, that is raised letter, so that only by touching it, even the visually impaired people can know what kind of currency denomination they are carrying. Now let's move to number 7. Apart from Hindi and English, which appear on the front side, number of other languages appear on the reverse side. See, for example, if you can take a 10 rupee note, in front of 10 rupee note, the denomination value is written in 2 languages, Hindi and English. But in the back side, apart from this, there are few more number of languages in which the same denomination value is written. Oh, how many languages are there? 15. it is written in 15 different languages, so that no matter which state it is in, the people of that state can look at the currency note and know its value, especially those who are weak with numbers. Next, in 2010, he created the rupee symbol by using different symbols, letter R, Devanagari letter, Ra, and the sign of equality, that is two parallel lines that represent the Indian national flag. You see, dear children, up to a certain time, that is up to 2009, Indian rupee system used RS, rupees. In 2010, a particular person, he created a new rupee symbol which is currently in use. He used Ra from the Devanagari script, that is Hindi, and he put two parallel lines like this. These two parallel lines represented our Indian national flag, and this became the standard symbol for representing rupees in our country. The person who introduced this particular symbol was D. Udaya Kumar. D. Udaya Kumar. He was the one who created the modern rupees symbol. Now, let's move to number 9. Indian currency note are not made of paper but made of this material. Now, here is a fun fact for you. The note which you carry, the note which we are carrying at the moment, the currency which your parents have, is actually not a paper currency. Instead, it is made out of one particular material, and that particular material is cotton and cotton rag. Cotton and cotton rag. Now, coming to number 10. Now let's look at number 10. The notes, that is rupees 500 and 2000 notes, have a green band which changes to blue when the note is tilted. You have seen that particular band. It is also known as security thread. Its color changes when you tilt it at a particular angle, and inside that Reserve Bank of India is mentioned. So this one being, that particular line is called security thread, like I already told you. Okay, this security thread is one of the security features of the currency note, so that the currency will not be counterfeited. Counterfeited meaning it will not be made duplicate. Duplicate currencies will not be put into circulation. Otherwise, how difficult will it be for a person with a scanner and a printer to print out currency notes as much as he wants? But in order to avoid that, first of all, as we have learned, Indian currency note is not made of paper in the first place. Secondly, it has security thread. Also, it has many other security features. Every big denomination note or small denomination notes have their own security features which are supposed to prevent the counterfeiting of notes. One of them being security thread. Now, number 11, the last one. The white side panel of notes has a watermark of this great leader. Now, on every big denomination note like 500 or 1000 note, if you look at the white side, normally it looks normal. But if you raise it a little to light, you'll see there's a watermark. There's a kind of like engraved portrait of a very great leader. Not only that, children, if you'll pay attention just to the side of that watermark, in watermark itself, the denomination value is also mentioned. Children, this watermark system is also one of the security threads, or you can say security features, in order to prevent the counterfeiting of notes. And that particular great leader, I think you all know who that particular great leader is. Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi. So these are few of the related historical changes and features of Indian currency note system as we have discussed now. Your homework as usual will be to finish this exercise in your notebook. Remember, keep your notebooks completed. It will be checked as soon as the school opens up. Thank you. Stay safe.